What is up, Misfits and Moonbasers? It is your boy Ray Recall here with another video review, and today we're going to be continuing the current mainline Generations series of the War for Cybertron trilogy. So without any further ado, let's go right into it. Today we will be reviewing the Transformers War for Cybertron trilogy, Earthrise, Deluxe Class, Ironworks. Yes. So today we're going to be looking at Ironworks in all of his majesty. You can't really see him, but he's just in the box. This is going to be one of the weaponizers, or I'm not sure exactly what they are calling it in Earthrise. I know that in Siege it was called the combat system with all the weapons and stuff like that. This is the airlock system that allows you to build bases out of certain figures. And so without any further ado, let's go ahead and get him out of the package and take a closer look at the figure. So just like with all Earthrise figures, in the box you get an insert with a piece of the star map. I'm just going to have to hold it there sideways, as well as one of these little red decoder strips. And when you hold it up there, I don't know how well it comes across, but you can see the lanes for the space map, which doesn't really come off on camera that well, but it works fine in person, so that's pretty neat. Also, I believe that the Transformers website is going to have their own printout of this, so if you ever miss a figure, you can just get the map that way, but I'll still hold on to these. I'll still try to cut them out and maybe make a star map or whatever that I can on my own, so yeah. And here we have Ironworks in his robot mode, and I do very much like this figure. Now, as I mentioned before, he is a similar type of figure as the Weaponizers, how they all just kind of fall to pieces and then reform in different configurations, and that you get the robot mode, the battle mode, all this, that, and the other. So, but yeah, this is and he's based off of a Micromaster, not the actual Micromaster itself, but actually what was it? The Micromaster playset itself, which was didn't have a name, but it transformed from like a steel factory to a combat tower or something like that. So, but this is the one that got the name Ironworks, and then there was that Transformers Siege Micromaster 10-pack or something like that. The Ironworks figure was in that, but I never went in on that because I'm not about to spend all that money on that many Micromasters. But here is what I have. So get a good look at the head sculpt there. It's red faceplate with a red visor. Kind of hard to see on camera. I don't know if it'll autofocus. And then it gets darker. It is what it is. But, yeah, and he is about pretty decent size, pretty decent weight. Doesn't feel like he's going to fall apart. The only loose thing on him really is this waist joint, and we'll get into that articulation right now. Might as well. Let's see. For articulation, his head is on a ball joint. You get some wiggle room there. Arms can do a full 360, both of them. They can go in and out. You do have a bicep rotation at each. Single bend elbow at this arm, double bend at this arm. Nothing at the wrist here. This hook actually is just a peg and a port. So you can rotate it around, or if you want, we'll go into some other configurations for that. Hips are very interesting of what they've done to it, because I don't know if you can see how well you can see this, but the hips aren't actually connected to the torso. They are actually on this hinge joint back here. If you can see that right there. So that's what creates the waist articulation. I thought that was pretty neat. Legs can go more than all the way out. Forward that far, back about that far, full deep knee bend. You have a rotation, the upper thigh, and a really deep ankle tilt. So you can get this guy in all kinds of poses. Oh yeah, and this shoulder pad is also movable as well. So yeah. So as for accessories, he does come with this double gun, and in the instructions it has you just peg this on right here, but if you want to switch it up, you can always switch it up some. You have some options to play with. Or if you want, you know, there is a port right there. You can plug the gun into that. You know, you can always have him holding the guns. You can do a lot of stuff with that. And these guns here, let me go ahead and put this back. This is a 5mm port on both sides. 5mm peg, 5mm peg, and I don't know if you can see it, but at the very end of the back one, and at the very tip of the front, are 3mm pegs, which you can use to put siege blast effects on. Like so. And you can do that with he doesn't have too many of the siege blast effect ports. The only one that I was able to really find was this one right here and the ones on the guns, but I'm sure, I haven't looked into this as deeply, but I'm pretty sure he's got some elsewhere, and maybe in some other modes. So yeah, we'll go ahead and just set him off to the side for now. And as for a size comparison, here he is with the Battlemaster sound barrier. It's kind of relevant, but for different reasons we'll get into later. And since I don't really have any of my other siege figures, here we go with Leader Astro Titan, or Astro Train. He's the unarmored. He's about a Voyager class size. So you got a pretty nice scale right there. Go ahead and get that off to the side. Now, being a weaponizer type deal, Ironworks is able to transform by splitting apart into different components and then basically reconfiguring them into new modes. So let's go ahead and do that. To get started, we'll just start taking them apart. So take the arms, legs, this back panel, which we'll peg in using these two ports up top. This panel, which will have this port plug into there. You can see those two. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's a peg and port, or a peg, port, peg, go together. That's what holds them in place. Take the head, rotate it around, flip it down on that hinge, and you basically have all the components more or less set up and ready to combine. So the first one we'll go into is going to be the default mode. It's going to be the, well, Ironworks mode. To do that, you're going to take this component here. Go ahead and make sure that that's tapped together. Yeah, just like this. You're going to have it like so. And then you're going to take this leg. You're just going to peg that in right there, like so. Take the other leg, and peg it in right there. Let's see, you're going to want to take this, flip this around, and so it's going to be just like this. You're going to take this unit, and using the clips, clip these together just like so. If you want to take a look at how that clip system works right there, you basically have a clip with nubs and an open clip. You just feed them in together straight, and they form a platform like that. Coming right here, you're going to take this module. You're going to take this port, post right here, stick it into this port right there. There you are. Just like that. Take the gun, split them apart, and then you're going to come down here, and on this peg right here, you're going to plug the gun. That'll give it a stable base. Sits right there. Take the smaller weapon, plug it into the side, like so, and then that little 3mm nub will go into a little 3mm port, so that stays pointing straight up. Take this ramp piece, connect it just like so. Come here, take this little peg that's right in there. I don't know how well I can get this out. Hang on. I know just what to do. Yeah. There we go. Flip up that little peg. That's a little 5mm peg. And then take the crane arm and just drop it down on that peg. And there you have Ironworks in his Ironworks mode. And this is a nice little playset. It's a cool design, works really nice. It's got plenty of spaces, 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can add on a bunch of these airlock characters. So far they only have Ironworks and I think one Decepticon one, but you can add on a whole, if you buy a whole bunch of these, you can get them in all kinds of crazy configurations and whatnot. For example, if we'll bring in Astrotrain's launch platform for his shuttle mode, you see it's got the airlock clip system on both sides. So you can take that, combine them together, and now you have the launch pad connected to another base, which is really nice. Or another thing you can do is you can take sound barrier here and stick them into ramp mode, like such, and then just plug him in, and now you have another ramp. So yeah, you can do a lot with the modular design for these figures. They have a whole bunch of configurations that you can do, and they are scaled for Micromaster size cars. I don't happen to have any on me, but they do fit perfectly on these little ramps and stuff like that. So that's the thing you can do. Let's see. Another thing you can do, which is in the instructions for some weird reason, but I don't know why you would want to do it, but it's a thing you can do, is you're going to want to take these pieces and then just connect these up like so. And you have a bridge that can't really do much in holding weight of anything other than one of these guys. But yeah, that's a thing you can do. It's literally in the instructions. Not sure why, but options. And then finally, because he is a weaponizer type transformer, you do have weaponizer functionality. Now it wants you to do it with Earthrise Wheeljack. I don't have Wheeljack, so we're just going to bring in Shockwave, because for some reason weaponizer stuff works very well with him. So I want to take the legs. I said that, and then his feet are too big. So you take the legs and you just set them like so for boots. Let's see here. You take this module here, extend out the claw weapon, flip up this peg, and attach it to either the forearm or shoulder. Take these pieces, stick them together like so, flip up one of these pegs like that, and then you have armor or shield. And then you want to take this here, open that up, plug that in the back, and take the gun and plug that up top. And now you have Ironworks in armored weaponizer mode, and doesn't work so well with Astro Train. Works okay with more deluxe scale figures, but yeah, that's an option. Yeah. Now, before I wrap up this video, there's two more things that I want to point out about Ironworks. Specifically that, you know, he does, I mean, I already went over the configurations that are a part of the official official transformation. However, he does have two more configurations that that are worth exploring. So let me go ahead and get into those right now. The first one is going to be the alternate form of his base mode, which he had, which the G1 figure had. So basically, you want to take some components like so. You're going to want to take this, take these components, flip them up like so, take this component, link that up. There we go. Swap that around. Take this component, drop it down. Take this gun, Stick it on the end. Take this whole assembly like so. Use that to keep these sections pegged together. Take this gun, put this here, tab this in very snugly. The greatest of ease. I said, with the greatest of ease. Like so. And then the hook just kind of sits right there. And that's reminiscent of the alt mode that the MicroMaster base had for G1. And that's really awesome. It's not as stable as the other one, but the fact that they were able to do that, and of course the bucket's big enough to have a MicroMaster standing in it, and you know, they still have connectors for other bases to link up, so that's pretty cool. Now, the other configuration that I want to show you is one that I have only ever seen in promotional images, not for Ironworks, but for the upcoming MicroMaster Astro Squad. And so the upcoming Astro Squad, basically what they do is they'll transform, it's two figures that combine to form a space shuttle. And the way that they want this to be transformed is basically take everything apart. You're going to want to take these two ramps and just kind of, or these two components, just have them out like so. You're going to want to take the hook, set it right here, so if you want to drop down this ramp, you can. These parts, which are for the upper legs, you want to angle them like that, so this is flush, so that these come out like an angle. Let's see here. You want to take this component. Am I looking at that right? I think I'm looking at that right. No. You want to take this component like so, and have the bucket draped over the front like it was in robot mode. And these two pegs are going to go and keep these components together and flush like so. You're going to want to come to the back, flip up this port, and it looks like this will be a stabilizer for that, just like so. Take the guns, put them together, and mount them to the side of the figure, like that. I think, yes. Then you're going to want to take these components, as near as I can tell, and have these form a ramp leading, oops, to that there. Just like so. And then basically what will happen is this area up top will actually be for the space shuttle to rest on. So it kind of looks like a space shuttle refueling platform, but in space. And just to show you what I'm talking about. There you go. That's the only image I've seen of this mode. So, yeah, that's a thing you can do. So that'll pretty much do it for the Ironworks review. I'm personally very glad I got this figure. I do want to get more of him so I can just start building bases together. That does sound like it would be something that I would want to do. As a standalone figure, he's pretty decent. Halfway good articulation. He's got some really good joint tolerances. The weaponizer ability is, again, pretty cool. I do like that. And then, of course, I do want, as I said before, I would like to get more of this figure so I could just build bases. I think that would be a pretty cool thing to do. Now, as for the price of the figure, I got him for about the same amount as I would in a regular Deluxe. I was only able to find him at a Walgreens, of all places. I wasn't able to find any Siege figures other than like one or two Battle Masters or Micromaster sets at standard retail, so I really had to hunt for this guy. And I was only able to find him at Walgreens, but I do know that he is up for sale at the BigBagToyStore.com. I'm pretty sure if you go to any other online retailer, he'll also be available there as well. But don't get scalped for this guy. He is good, but he's more of an add-on for other figures, just like I would say for any of the Battle Masters. And you would really get the most out of this guy if you had multiples. So, yeah, that's what probably as much as I have to say on that. Also, he really does benefit from some of the Battle Masters that are airlock compatible, the ones that form like ramps and stuff like that, so that way if you have two of them, you can plug sound barrier between them and have two bases connected. If you have the Optimus, you can have him connected to the Optimus trailer or the back of Hoist, or not the back of Hoist, but no, back of Hoist. Grapple's hook can hook up to things. The Quintesson Judge, whenever that comes out, the Throne becomes a base platform or something like that you can hook up other figures to. So you can potentially have a lot of playability with this guy. But just as it is a pretty decent figure, and I would recommend it. So that's enough rambling from me. This has been the Transformers War for Cybertron Earthrise Deluxe Class Ironworks. I have been Ray Recall. Y'all have been awesome. And I will see y'all in the next video review, whatever that happens to be. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you then. Peace.